I want you to start becoming more aware of how when you retain, you gain ojas. This is the joy of vitality, life energy, radiance, and good health, which I would suggest is actually worth more than most of the things in your life. When retaining, this ojas is felt in you as a more vital, more spirited, more energized experience, something that I would say can be such a wonderful source of satisfaction that if you really wanted it to, it could be used to replace many of the unhealthy things in your life. This is what I call the power of substituting in retention to lead you to ojas, to help you to change the way that you live. You grow to be less addicted, you grow to be more in harmony, and altogether you become more vital, relying less and less on crutches and comforts that you might have used before. With ojas, you are alive. You don't need to live the way that you did before. You have learned that this greater energy is the primary thing that you need to cultivate in order to have the highest health and the highest well-being. When you start to feel ojas and realize that it gives you this spiritual sustenance, you see that it nourishes you on a deeper level than the physical. And when this happens, watch yourself naturally gravitate away from those things which are more artificial or unnatural. For example, watch how you steer yourself away from the easy things which you know you don't need. Things like casual relationships, quick entertainment, unhealthy food, or PMO. Because notice, those things, they are reached for more often than not when you feel like you lack something, when you feel hungry, or when your consciousness is low. But the powerful thing about retention, or ojas, is so long as your mind and lifestyle are in balance, you don't feel a scarcity, you don't feel a hunger or a sense of lack as you once did. With ojas, you feel rich, you feel warm, and you feel as though you are glowing. It sort of feels like the opposite of a relapse, and you know, this does make sense because what are you really doing? You are doing the opposite action of a relapse, which is abstaining from PMO and conserving your vital energy. Feeling ojas also reminds me of the opposite of a hangover. These days there are times when I wake up in the morning where I feel so refreshed and ready to live, but this isn't just a I don't feel super groggy and tired feeling. This is more of a I feel a spiritual connection and warmth, and I've only just woken up. In fact, the entire morning experience, I find, is no longer a time of struggle or anxiety, thinking about what may or may not happen later on. Now, you might have a little bit of that. After all, you do have this human mind that you've got to work with. But what you will have more of is energy which keeps you rooted in the present moment. This is what we're ultimately working for, improvements in our consciousness and improvements in our present moment connection. Ojas will also do wonders for your physical health. You'll feel more rested, you'll have more physical strength, your body will better be able to carry out its necessary functions, and you'll find yourself rarely getting sick. In fact, for me, the past few years that I've been doing this, I have been sick the least that I ever have. Literally only a handful of times. Whereas when I was younger, I used to get sick a lot more often. Now, your body is always going to be susceptible to illness to some extent. But when you retain, you have stronger immunity. And the reason this is because ojas is actually the essential energy of your immune system. It's a concentrated, subtle essence which helps regenerate your health and physical well-being. And in a certain sense, this doesn't surprise you because experientially it feels like it's in alignment with everything else that you're experiencing. So it probably won't shock you if you do go for long spells without illness or getting sick. This is one of the really practical benefits of ojas, which intrigues me, and I do wonder if you guys have similar experiences with not getting sick as often. Another thing to look out for with ojas energy is robustness, physical strength, and vigor. You have this spiritual strength, which if you look closely, seems to carry over or translate into physical strength. And this makes working out or exercising almost effortless, which is a real win if you're into your fitness like me. In particular, there's an exercise called a muscle up, maybe you know it. It's sort of where you propel your body up and over the bar, and it requires full body strength and engagement. Now, it is a technique thing, but it's also a thrust type thing. I find you need a certain amount of force to make the movement happen. And for the past, say, 3 months that I've been doing these muscle ups more often, I've been shocked about how easily my body throws itself up over the bar almost without me even trying. Now, on the one hand, this could be muscle memory, but to be honest, I haven't had this kind of ease and effortlessness with such a difficult exercise in basically ever. The movement, it kind of just happens on its own, and I'm almost a witness to it as much as I am doing it. So we could say that fluidity of movement is something that happens a lot more when ojas is present. This is to be expected because when charged with such a spiritual force, your body moves in a certain way. There's less self-consciousness. Things are smoother with less awkwardness or jarringness. And well, of course this is the case because what causes us to be abrupt or awkward? Right? It's difficult egoic energy. It's the me energy. It's the what about my fear and suffering energy. Ojas is calm. It is radiant. Learn to gently replace your fearful, egoic, tense energy with this calmer, stronger, divine energy that can be cultivated through retention, a good diet, and a solid lifestyle. Ojas also gives you a warm glow in the face and eyes. You might find yourself with a glowing complexion and these sparkly luminescent eyes. Your skin may also improve. It may become clearer and healthier, and of course this depends on your genetics, your diet, and your lifestyle, but it's certainly something to look out for. There is also a nuance here, which is how you feel inside isn't always mirrored externally. So glowing like this might not always be the case. For example, I can remember getting up really early for a project that I was doing way back in January, and I can remember looking at myself in the mirror and seeing quite a tired face. But this is interesting because internally I felt absolutely radiant. And for me, this is a good example of where the level of energy inside of you is a much better indicator of your state and well-being than how you actually look or appear on the outside. Keep in mind also that in order to have this ojas in your experience, you want to make sure that you are transmuting the sexual energy. So for it to be potent, powerful, and spiritual, understand that the conversion process is key. Things like meditation, yoga, and pranayama are all things that you want to do in order to convert the sexual energy into ojas, the strong spiritual force. We can easily make the mistake of not transmuting by being lazy, not keeping up with spiritual practice, or being complacent. And this can mean the energy can build up, but not be of service to us. You want to work with the energy, not against it. So make sure you're breathing properly, meditating, sleeping well, eating a good diet, as well as exercising regularly, moving, lifting, doing and being, all so that you can awaken the energy and help it be transmuted into its higher form. So enjoy this energy, let it keep you alive and spirited, and remember that if you do want to feel stronger and healthier, whether it's mentally, physically or spiritually, increasing your ojas is the way. If you've enjoyed this video and you would like more, then my friend, please do subscribe.